Well, for more on the current job market for graduates, I spoke to Hassan Akmal via Zoom. He's Executive Director of the Career Center at the University of California at Los Angeles. He's also an author and professor. And I began by asking him to talk about the most common concerns for graduates.
99% of students that we surveyed are asking for assistance from their career centers. So it's unprecedented numbers. They're asking, how do we navigate our job search in light of a pandemic? This is uncharted territory for everybody. And their number one concern is their families and the impact that the pandemic has had on their families. But the number two concern is how they can get help with their job in light of all the uncertainty.
And for those that perhaps did have job offers, we're seeing that 22% of companies that were recently polled by the National Association of Colleges and Employers are considering rescinding job offers. So is there any hard data yet on sort of the pace of some of these job offers and internships being rescinded?
Yes, absolutely. We do have the hard data, and not just really the data, but good quality data. The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly added some degree of uncertainty to the future of work. However, as we teach students to take those calculated risks and craft their way forward, we must also remind them to not lose confidence, because with all this difficulty comes opportunities, and there's new industries and the ability to really double down on areas that can and will elevate their brand. And so those are some of the areas that they're asking for. And for example, while some industries are more affected than others, some are still thriving. And we know with NACE that less than 20% have been rescinded, offers have been rescinded, but that means 64% are not revoking offers to full-time recruits and interns. And another 25% are not revoking offers yet, but are still considering it. So we know that the majority of students are still actively seeking opportunities and exploring virtual opportunities to connect with employers. In fact, 73% of college seniors are still hunting for a full-time job. And the source of that is Trends and Insights, COVID-19 Higher Education Recruitment Trends, published by Handshake in April 2020. So based on a recent survey that we've done here at UCLA, that we administered, over 75% of employers are in fact still hiring, and that's very encouraging.
Now, you tapped on a few things, some of the industries that are hiring for the class of 2020. Tell us about who's hiring and which industries are really faring the worst in this.
Yeah, in my view, really the impact cuts across all industries, although some have been affected more than others. So some fields are experiencing reductions while others remain steady. For example, pharma and med devices, healthcare and services, and nonprofits are still hiring and are the least impacted. Whereas hospitality, food and beverage, consumer packaged goods, arts and entertainment have been hit the hardest. That being said, there are also new industries. And if you pay close attention to the number of patents being filed over the last decade, you'll see that AI has plenty. And so there are industries that we're encouraging students to gravitate towards that will be accelerated in many cases.
Now, obviously, in 2008, during the Great Recession, we saw that was also a tough year to graduate. Now, some studies show that the class continued to lag in terms of being compared to other graduates in employment, in terms of earning as well. What can you tell this year's graduates about navigating that, especially since now we know that about 30 million Americans are now also filing for unemployment and perhaps also looking for jobs?
Yeah, it is similar in many respects to 2008, although it's impacting us different. Naturally, more students are experiencing anxiety, right? And there are also specific populations of students, for example, international students, that clearly seem to be more impacted more heavily. And I've personally received multiple requests from students for new programming that focuses specifically on tools and techniques to really help sort of pave their path in light of this. Right, and if we are headed to a global depression, so this is uncharted territory for all of us, and those underserved areas and those populations that have been impacted the most. So we're trying our best to really lead with empathy and really listen to their concerns and refocus. Just as folks bounced back after 2008, we will do so in 2021. But what's significantly different now is the concept of a career. Right, we are seeing career disruption pre-COVID-19. So career disruption was already here. Longevity is no longer, 30 years. My mom was a chemist for 30 years. So we were already seeing how careers have changed, how the word career has been redefined. And now that's all being accelerated.
how can graduates best leverage what they're going through right now, being that they are going through this roller coaster? How can they best leverage this experience to their next job search?
Well, I think if you look at the pandemic as an area of opportunity, for example, so whether it is finding that part-time job and looking at it as, well, you know what, underemployment is still something that's significant and that we haven't really talked about, but you know what, it's going to help me more marketable in front of an employer. It could be my greatest asset in many cases, but it really depends on how you position yourself and how you really optimize that, whether it's a degree to get your education or an internship or an externship to give you more of that living laboratory experience, and help you prototype your way forward. It all depends on you. But what I would encourage more than anything is the importance of your digital identity and development at this time. So for example, what is your digital footprint? What kind of content are you putting out there on LinkedIn, for example? We know the tech industry is looking at content that people publish. Facebook's recruiting, Google's recruiting based on some of the content that they see. So what are you putting out there? Look at this as an opportunity to really elevate your brand, to elevate your digital identity, and to elevate your digital footprint.